Hey guys, welcome back to another video on Become Better on this YouTube channel. In today's video we're going to talk all about the topic how to overcome fear. And I think this is a really important topic to talk about, because fear is one of those things where like people say, I can't do this thing because I'm scared. I can't do this thing because I'm scared of what's going to happen. Most of the time, 99.9% of the time, we like fear things that are more in our head than like what it actually is in reality. And what I mean by that is sometimes we want to do this thing and then we'll think about all the negatives, like, oh, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if that happens? And then sometimes we can talk ourselves out of it. Like sometimes we can talk ourselves out of doing something we want to do just because we're scared of what is going to happen. For example, like if you want to start a YouTube channel but you're scared about what other people think of you, like that's quite a common one. Or if you want to achieve your dream or start that business that you've had in your mind for a while, sometimes it does take a while. Like sometimes you'll have an idea and then like going from idea to doing that thing can take a while, because you need to think it, overanalyze it, see if you really want to pursue something before you actually pursue it. And I think the other thing is sort of like, I feel like with everything in life you should always think about it quite a lot before taking action, because with me in my life I like to, like when I do something, I like to have all my ducks in a row before I do it. And it's not always going to be perfect, and you're not always going to like have everything in place before you actually do something. But what I mean by that is sort of like you want to make sure that you're doing it because you want to do it and it feels aligned with yourself. And a lot of other things in life, like you sort of want to make things like aligned in things. You want to make sure that what you're doing feels like aligned to who you are. Because sometimes with manifestation, you want to do something, and then I believe that like God won't give it to you until you're aligned with it, and then like when you're aligned with it, you can achieve your goal. Because sometimes it takes a while to get into that place where you're ready to do something. If that's ready to get in a relationship, or if that's ready to start that business, sometimes you need to be in the right place, and you have to be like ready to take on that extra responsibility, because getting into a relationship is a responsibility. Starting a business is another responsibility on your responsibility to-do list. And it's sort of like taking control of your life and sort of taking control of what you want and what you want to do with your life. And obviously we don't have life all figured out. Like, I wish everyone did have life figured out. I wish everyone could be like, oh, I want to do this, and then go for it. But I think like through life you go through stages and you go through developments, and every stage you go through you might get to an end of a chapter, and then you might re-question what you want next. And I think that's fine, because you know, as humans we grow and evolve, and over time our goals and hobbies change and develop as we experience life, and as we go through trial and error, and as we evolve as people. I think that's really important to remember, that you know, your life right now probably won't be the same life you're going to live in 10 years from now, but you're not going to worry about what you're going to do in 10 years because you sort of take it day by day. And if you're struggling with like overthinking, like, oh, what am I going to do in 5 years from now, you don't need to worry too much about that, because you know that 5 years will come when it comes. And you should just take it week by week, day by day. Don't be so hard on yourself, and don't overanalyze things, and you will be fine. And coming back to the topic of fearing, like sometimes people can fear the future as well, and they don't, and that's the thing, like people can fear the future and then not do the things that they want to do because they're scared. But I think like sometimes when you're scared to do something, sometimes if you jump into that fear, it feels a bit less scary. I know for a fact, like when I wanted to start my business, I was terrified, and I jumped straight into it, and I did the scary thing of starting it, and I was terrified. But now I'm running my business, and now I don't think as much about it. I still think I'm a little bit nervous, but you know, actually doing it, it makes you think that it makes you like sort of realise that it's not as scary as you initially thought. And the other thing is, like, once you get used to something, once you get used to running that business, once you get used to going to that new school, once you get used to your schedule, it becomes a bit less scary. It can still be like a little bit scary, but it's more like, you know, you're not gonna be thinking too much about it anymore, because you've gotten to that point where it doesn't scare you as much as it used to. And it still might scare you, like, because, for example, I'm a performer, and every time I do a performance before I do get a bit nervous, and it's the same feeling every single time. But it's sort of like just believing in yourself and believing in your intuition. As I think performers and creatives, a lot of it is like believing in, it's just like sort of trusting your intuition and going with it. And it always ends up working out the way it's meant to work out. And I think that's really, really special to think about as well, is that sometimes you can overanalyze things, but then it always works out the way it's meant to work out anyway, so you don't need to think about it too much. But then, you know, as people and as creatives especially, we do overthink a lot. But I think that sort of comes back to the creative mind, and, you know, creativity is a blessing and a curse at the same time. I definitely do believe that. So yeah, it is scary doing something new and trying something new, but I think sometimes to overcome your fear, you have to do it anyways. I heard this phrase, and it said, feel the fear and do it anyway. So it's sort of like coming back to that idea of, like, if you want to overcome something, you have to do it. And the thing is, the more you do your fear, the less you'll be scared about it. For example, if you're scared of like singing in public, and you do your first like public performance, you'll be probably terrified. But after you do that like 10, 20, 30 times in different venues and in front of different people, you'll soon realise that, you know, people are just people. We're all the same. We all have thoughts and worries and fears, and some days are better than other days, especially. And sometimes we want to quit and give up. But I think, you know, you've got to keep pushing through the bad days, pushing through the good days. We don't need to push through the good days, but you know what I mean. And yeah, like, life is just an up and down journey, as we like develop and grow as people. And as we're going through this journey, we go in different paths, we cross paths with different people, we learn different things, learn new things, and things like that. So you really don't need to worry too much. And you definitely do, sometimes you cross paths with people who you're meant to cross paths with, which is really, really special, and sometimes you never forget those people. And that's the thing, it's just like pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, because leave comfort for clothes, not for the hustle. I think that was what Lilly Singh quotes on her YouTube channel, which is true. I definitely do believe that. And yeah, so just try not to let fear control you, if that makes sense. You can be scared of something, but if you really, really, really want to do it, and you feel passionate about it, and there's something you want to pursue, we only live once, and at the end of the day, no one gets out of this world alive. You know, one day we're all gonna die. It sounds quite depressing, but it is true. You know, one day, we don't live forever, and it's sort of like, you know, you want to be able to do everything you want to do in your life without worrying about the fear of, I'm scared to do this thing. Because at the end of the day, if you think about it realistically, when you're on your deathbed, would you rather be grateful that you did everything you wanted to do, even though you're scared to do it? Or would you rather be in your deathbed thinking, I really regret living my life and like not doing the things I wanted to do just because I was scared? You know, that's what you really got to think about when it comes to doing things that you're scared about. Overcoming fear, guys, it's not an easy thing. It's not as easy as it looks, but it's just jumping into it, and also knowing that, you know, everyone's so focused on their lives that, like, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter too much about, you know, about you being scared, because at the end of the day, you can't even like see if someone's scared, because it's all in your head. And most of the time, like, your outside perspective, if someone looks at you, they probably wouldn't think that you're scared or anything, but then deep down you are. So that's another thing to keep in mind. I experienced this when I was running my business. You know, I was like terrified for the first class, but like you couldn't see that from the student's perspective. From the student's perspective, it looked like I knew what I was doing and sort of I was confident, but I was just faking it, sort of. But now I'm sort of at the point where I'm really confident in doing what I'm doing, that I don't question it as much. But when I first started my business, I was like questioning and doubting everything. And it's sort of like a muscle that over time you will learn. Over time, the more you do something, the more confident you'll become in it. And the more confident you become in it, the less you'll overthink and doubt yourself. So it's also like repeating your fear. So if you're scared to do something, if you keep doing it over and over again, one day you won't be scared of it anymore, because it will just come naturally. It's just like second-hand nature to you, because you've done it so many times that you may still be scared before you do it every time, like for example if it's a performance or something, but you just power through and you move through it and you get out on the other side, and then you think, oh, it wasn't that bad, and then you repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat. A lot of things in life is repetitive, isn't it? Like once you know how to wash up, you just do it second hand. It's like walking. Like we know how to walk, that we don't overthink it, but when we were a child learning to walk, we would probably overthink it. Same as riding a bike, you know, like you're scared to, it's sometimes when you do new things, you're scared to do it at the beginning, and then over time you find out that, oh, it's not as bad as one's mind thoughts. So definitely your thoughts sort of stop you, and thoughts aren't real, and yeah, I think you should definitely just, if you're scared to do something, just throw yourself into it and do it. That's the biggest advice I have. As long as it's safe and you're not hurting anyone or no one's hurting you, and it's something you really are passionate about and want to do, then you should definitely just go for it. So that's all I'm going to be saying in this video. This is some tips on how to overcome fear. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up and comment down below, and make sure to subscribe to this channel, because I've got so many other videos on this channel that you can check out, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.